Hi you guys, welcome back to the channel. Alright you guys, my Alabama Crimson Tide beat Georgia! Woo! I just had to start the video with that, that's all. Sorry. We'll go back. This week, let's talk about who is going to win week 6 and if there's going to be any major upsets like we saw this past week with Florida State and with my Crimson Tide beating Georgia. So, Friday's game is West Virginia versus BYU. BYU is 4-0, West Virginia is 2-3, and I know Pat McAfee's going to pick West Virginia, but I'm going BYU. I think that BYU team is playing really well right now. I think that they are going to win this football game. And then Saturday, we have another big one for my Crimson Tide. We have them going against number 16, Vandy, who are 5-0, you guys. Vandy is making a name for themselves. And they beat us last year. So to say I'm not a little nervous would be an understatement because I am very nervous for this game. Vandy is performing very well this season. They already beat us once, but I think Alabama is going to win this game. I think that they definitely want to bounce back from that week 1 loss, and I think the only way to do that is to continue to win. Then we have Kentucky versus Georgia, and this game always seems to be a little tough. I don't know what it is about this Kentucky-Georgia rivalry, but they always have tough games, but I'm going to give it to the Bulldogs. I think that they definitely rebound after their loss last week to Alabama and beat this Wildcat team. Then we have 14, Iowa State versus Cincinnati. Iowa State is 5-0. We did see Cincinnati versus Nebraska earlier in the year at the Chiefs Stadium, and they played really, really well. They're 3-1 on the season, so I feel like this could possibly be an upset. And if I was Travis Kelce, I would go with Cincinnati, but I am not. And so I'm going with Iowa State. I think that they pull off this victory against Cincinnati and continue their undefeated season. Then we have a Big Ten matchup in Wisconsin versus Michigan. Wisconsin's 2-2, Michigan's 3-1. Michigan's been playing well, but I don't know. Should I pick the Badgers here since I live in Wisconsin? Probably not. We're going to go with Michigan. I think the Wolverines win. It's at Michigan. It's at the Big House. They're going to get this victory over Wisconsin. Then we have 22 Illinois versus Purdue, and we saw that Illinois played horrible against Indiana, but then the next week they bounced back, and so I think they're going to continue to bounce back. I think that they're going to beat this Purdue team. Even though it's at Purdue, I think Illinois gets that victory. Number 7, Penn State took their first L last week against Oregon, which I predicted, you guys. Oregon is my Big Ten team. I think that they're going to do well this season, so I was happy to see that prediction was correct. This week, they're fighting UCLA, who are 0-4, so I think Penn State gets an easy victory here. Then we have number 9, Texas versus Florida. Now, Florida was ranked a lot higher than what they fell to. They are 1-3. They have not got it together this year. They can't seem to click. In Texas, since they lost to Ohio State, they really have clicked. So I think that Texas and Archie Manning is going to continue their winning streak here. I think Archie's going to continue to make a name for himself and silence all of his haters. Then we have Boise State at 3-1 versus number 21 Notre Dame at 2-2. And to be honest with you, I don't expect this game to be a blowout on Notre Dame's side. You would think a Notre Dame Boise State would kind of be a blowout game, but I don't expect it to be. Notre Dame has not been the Notre Dame that we have seen in the past. They have struggled a lot this year. I think this is going to be a close game. I am going to give it to the Fighting Irish. I think that they have done some things and some adjustments and some changes to really kind of put themselves back in that contention. But I wouldn't be surprised with a close game here. Then we have 24 Virginia, who took down FSU last week versus Louisville. And honestly, this is going to be a pretty good matchup, I feel. Louisville is 4-0. They are undefeated. Virginia's 4-1. They've only lost one, and they have that huge victory over FSU. They're going to be riding that high this week, and so I think that they ultimately pull out this victory on Louisville. But I would not count out Louisville because it is at Louisville, which is a huge advantage. But I'm going to give Virginia the victory here. Then we have Kent State versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma has been doing amazing this season. Honestly, they feel like Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma. Like they feel like they're firing on all cylinders. Everything is clicking. Their offense is doing great. Their defense is doing great, and that's why they're number 5 in the country. I'm gonna give it to Oklahoma here. I think it's gonna be a big victory for them over this Kent State team. Then we have number 11, Texas Tech versus Houston. And I rode with Texas Tech all season, so it's not slowing down here. I'm still riding with the Red Raiders here. I don't know what it is about this team, but I feel like that they have something special, and I think that, they're definitely going to crack their way into that top 10 this week. Then we have Minnesota versus Ohio State. Fun fact, I'll be in Minnesota this weekend, but this game is unfortunately at Ohio State. But I think Ohio State wins this football game. I think that they do not slow down. They keep this undefeated season going, and I think that they get this victory. Then we have number 3, Miami versus 18, Florida State in a Florida matchup. And again, another team that I don't think will slow down. I think Miami gets this victory here. They were off last week, so they had time to really adjust anything that wasn't working, which, to be honest with you, isn't much because Miami's been killing it this season. But I ultimately think that they're going to beat Florida State. Florida State's going to suffer another loss this week against this Miami team. But I will say, if Florida State can pull off this upset, they might have some discussions for saving their season because they beat Alabama and they beat Miami. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Miami's going to continue to win. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not think Carson Beck would be this good at Miami. I thought that they were going to be good, but they seem on a whole nother level. So I think maybe that new atmosphere for him and getting out of Georgia really helped him. Then we have Mississippi State versus Texas A&M, and of course, I'm giving it to Texas A&M here. I think that they definitely win this football game. They have been honestly really, really strong this season, and they are one of the best teams in the SEC, which is saying a lot because the SEC has been super, super strong this season. They're sitting at number 6. Mississippi State has not been a slacker. They have been doing really well as well, but I just feel like that Texas A&M team has enough juice to get past Mississippi State and continue their undefeated season. But as always, let me know your predictions. Also, let me know how your team is doing right now. Are they doing good? Are they doing better than you expected? Are they doing really bad? Let me know. I'm always interested to see how other teams are doing. And hopefully my Crimson Tide can pull off another big victory this week. But we'll find out next week. As always, subscribe to my channel, like, comment, follow me on all socials, and I'll see you guys next week.